If there's romance, there's conflict. So right off the bat, we've got two people, and they are hiding a kiss. Why are they hiding this kiss? I don't know. It's sweet, though. It's cute. It's sweet. There could be a story there. I'm an award-winning author with imprints of Random House and Simon & Schuster. I'm also a Bram Stoker Award finalist, and I've written for the comic book Spawn. My name is Tom Leveen. Let's write together. The idea here is to start a novel from idea generation and go all the way, hopefully, through the agenting process, the publishing process, marketing, everything that happens, all the way through to your very first author event at your local independent bookstore. I don't know if that's what's going to happen or not. We're just getting started, but that's the goal. I'm going to be gearing everything we do toward that ultimate goal of finding representation from a literary agent and then hopefully traditionally publishing your novel. If that doesn't happen, that's okay. We will shift gears and we will self-publish it. And we'll be talking about all of those things every step of the way. If you've seen a video that started very similar to this, let me explain what happened very briefly. What happened was I was going to do this a couple of other times previously in 2020. What ended up happening is I started writing stuff that I would normally write. So like my first attempt was very much going to be a horror novel. It was like from page one, it was gory and gruesome. I was having a good time, but it occurred to me that it might turn off certain other people. If that's not your thing, then it's really going to be hard for me to engage you. It's really going to be hard for us to have a conversation and go back and forth in dialogue about writing a book if you're like, oh my god, the blood! So it seemed like a good idea to write in a different genre, to write something that was a little more accessible to more people. If I'm going to do my job as an instructor, as a mentor, as a coach for writing, then I need to make this as accessible for as many novelists and aspiring writers as humanly possible. You can follow these rules if you want to. You don't have to. It can be an exercise for you. It could be something that launches your NaNoWriMo event in November 2020, or any November for that matter, depending on when you're watching, depending on when you're listening. The idea is I'm starting from zero. I don't necessarily have any specific ideas. I'm going to go to a couple of free photo websites. My two favorites are Pexels.com and Unsplash.com. Look for an image that speaks to me, that I find compelling, that inspires me, and we're going to write a story, a novel, based on that image. Now, the ultimate story may change and shift and morph throughout the writing process. That's fine, that's normal, but you'll be along for the ride every step of the way as we talk about structure and plot and pacing and characterization and dialogue and description and white space and all of those things that go into novel writing. One question I do see a lot on forums like Quora and that I get personally from aspiring writers and novelists is, where do you get your ideas? Or how can I get ideas to write? Well, this is one thing you can do. Go to a free photo site like this and just surf around and see what compels you, see what grabs you. The other advantage to doing that is if we end up going the self-publishing route, the independent publishing route, then this image, this picture, this photo can become the basis of a great book cover. So be bearing that in mind as you look at photos. Because I've had the most success with and tend to automatically write about young people, about teenagers specifically, that's what I'm going to look for. You can look for whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. I don't know if you can see it on the screen here, but I am deliberately putting an S on the end of this. I'm making this plural, teenagers, because if I can find a photo that has 2 or 3 people in it, that's even better. Something my friend Mike Stackpole taught me a long, long time ago was that you want to be thinking in terms of triads, threes. 2 people in a story is great, but 3 people is even better. You might think of your sort of so-called traditional love triangle, right? We're not talking about a love triangle necessarily. We're just talking about 3 people in relationship to each other, because at each intersection, there exists the potential for conflict. So be thinking in terms of triads or even quartets. I am attracted to this photo here. You can see this. There's a great photo of presumably a boy and a girl in a photo booth, and all we can see is their legs, and the girl, again, presumably is on her toes, presumably kissing the boy in the photo booth. Now, we don't know that it's a girl and a boy. It could be 2 girls, could be 2 boys, we don't know. That's just kind of the impression that it leaves, and I like it because if there's romance, there's conflict. So right off the bat, we've got two people, and they are hiding a kiss, presumably. That's what I take from it. Why are they hiding this kiss? I don't know. It's sweet, though. It's cute. It's sweet. There could be a story there. Part of this whole process is listening to your guts and your instinct when it comes to coming up with ideas or finding ideas. Whether you're looking at photos like this or something just kind of comes to you in the middle of the night, which, by the way, if it does, write it down because you never know when you're going to use it. Stephen King advises against writing down ideas. I disagree. I say write that stuff down because you never know. Had I not written down ideas, more than a decade ago, I would never have had my first novel, Party, published because I would have lost those notes. You don't want to do that. Write everything down. Point being about these photos is they're cool photos. I like the look of the girls. It's fun. But it's not speaking to me. It's just not hooking me, so I'm not going to choose those. Love, okay, now I've got a shot of a girl sitting on a skateboard with sort of a do-rag thing going on. Again, probably junior high, maybe early high school. She's got kind of this Mona Lisa smile going on. I like that. She is somebody I would write about, for sure. This image down here, I've got two teenagers on the beach, or a wharf or something. Anyway, they're by the water, but they're both looking at phones, and like you don't want to put that on a book cover. Like, I'm already checked out. Like, you're not paying any attention to each other or to me as the reader, to the viewer. Then why do I don't want to read your story? So that's an immediate turnoff for me. So I've got this shot here with two girls. They're on a path in a place that looks like perhaps I envision Oregon or Washington, something Pacific Northwest right there. It's really green. Can't see their faces, but they are clearly going somewhere. They've both got backpacks on. That's sort of compelling because they're in the middle of taking a step, so they are going somewhere. Forward motion is good. Going somewhere is good. So I may come back to that one. And then there's another one right next to it of a girl by herself at what appears to be a carnival or fair of some kind. Can't really tell, but based on the photo, it doesn't look like she's very happy. But there's this great prominent image of the Ferris wheel in the background, kind of fuzzed out in the background. I still like that. That's interesting. Why is she there? Why is she by herself? What happened, as in theater we say, what happened in the moment before? What's the moment before this shot? I'm very curious. I might have to write a book to find out. See, so even as I'm scrolling through, I'm already mulling ideas. I've got these two images that I really like. Don't know yet if I'm going to keep them or not. Don't know if I'm ready to commit, but they're compelling to me. And so even now, I'm already starting to think about, well, how can they be related? How can they be in relationship? What is a relationship to each other? And just kind of spitballing. Now, as the episodes continue, we will also talk about outlines, and should you outline, should you not outline, should you be a pantser or an outliner, all these kinds of things. We'll discuss all those things. Right now, all I need is something to get the fires burning. Here's what I've ended up deciding to do. I found two images that I really like, and as I was just mulling it over in my head, I came up with a story. And here it is. We've got this girl here at the carnival with the Ferris wheel in the background. She's by herself carrying a bag of cotton candy. On Pexels, we have this picture of a very tomboyish looking girl on a skateboard, kind of this little half-knowing grin on her face, and I have decided that these two are friends, and they have been friends for a long time, but the girl in the carnival picture is perhaps has depression or is struggling with something at home. Anyway, some external force is acting upon her. They go to this carnival. She meets a boy and a carny. She's literally going to meet a carny, you guys. Maybe he operates one of the games or something like that. She falls for him and decides she's going to run away with him to the carnival or follow him to the next town or whatever. And her friend on the skateboard is not by yourself. You don't. I'm coming with you. She has her own baggage. I don't know what that is yet. It doesn't matter because now we have three characters and a story. No idea where it's going to go, but this is how it works. If you ever have wondered, if you've ever had that question, where do you get your ideas? This is the kind of place ideas come from. Because just in the last, 15, 20 minutes, two pictures jumped out at me and immediately started making me think about, well, what could this girl be doing? What's going wrong? Why isn't she smiling? Why is she sad at the carnival? Is that the name of the book? Sad Carnival? Probably not. That's a terrible title. But now just in thinking about it and scrolling around, I've got the germ, the kernel, the seeds of a plot and a story. So that's where we're going to leave it for now. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.